Good afternoon, everybody. It's Saturday, August 9th, 2020, and this is English Lying Down again. And today, don't forget to review 6 previous days' material. It's day 35 today, and we go through adding to nursery or adding to the nursery. So the problem is when to use the. And it's similar to, is actually equals to daycare, which is American English. So the answer is we say adding to daycare when we mean that the child actually goes to nursery. Yeah. So we both use in nursery and at nursery with slightly different situations. And to be nursery and to go to nursery equal. Adding to the nursery. So if you're making a general statement about what happens there, or saying that you're visiting a nursery, then it's normally at the, to the, or in the. Examples. Adding to nursery. Where's Johnny? He's at nursery. My son doesn't go to school yet because he's still in nursery. Next, my son doesn't go to school yet because he still goes to nursery. She'll be going to nursery until she's 6. She'll be in nursery until she's 6. Examples with adding to the nursery. At the nursery down the road, they close at 5:30. I met her at the nursery when I went to the parent-teacher conference last week. They have a big cafeteria in the nursery. When they got to the nursery, they played a bit in the yard before they got into the actual building. So, 34. Okay. Adding daycare or adding to the daycare. So, it's similar to school. Answer, we say adding to daycare when we mean that the child actually goes to daycare. We both use in daycare and at daycare for slightly different situations. To be in daycare equals to go to daycare. Adding to the daycare, so if you're making a general statement about what happens there, or saying that you're visiting a daycare, then it's normally added to the in there. Examples. Where's Johnny? He's at daycare. My son doesn't go to school yet because he's still at daycare. In daycare, sorry. My son doesn't go to school yet because he still goes to daycare. She'll be going to daycare until she's 6. She'll be in daycare until she's 6. Examples with adding to the daycare. At the daycare down the road, they close at 5:30. I met her at the daycare when I went to the parent-teacher conference last week. They have a big cafeteria in the daycare. When they got to the daycare, they played a bit in the yard before they got into the actual building. So day 33, to prison, to their prison. The phrase they have to go to prison means that they have been sentenced to go to prison for committing a crime. This phrase indicates that they'll have the status of prisoners. Examples. He would have to go to prison for 2 years. Mike pled guilty and had to go off to prison. The phrase they have to go to the prison refers to their physical movement to a specific prison complex. The speaker may mean that they go visit somebody in the prison or possibly go there on business. Examples. So she went to the prison, she visited with him. And so we're going to the prison and we're going to visit them. Okay, so day 32. So here we analyze in prison, in the prison. So the phrase he's in prison means that he is confined in a prison somewhere. His actual physical location is not important. This phrase indicates his status as a prisoner. He spent 2 years in prison. He was in prison for selling drugs. He was sentenced to life in prison. The phrase he is in the prison, in their prison, refers to his physical presence in a specific prison complex. The speaker may be standing inside or in front of the prison. He means that someone is inside the prison right now, possibly on business or as a visitor. Examples: they play different roles in the prison system. I met her in the prison with her 2-year-old daughter. So we'll take one more day, actually 2 more days to revise. 31. Question: to hospital or to the hospital? Whether to use the before hospital is a well-established but mysterious difference between British and American English. People in the UK say they go to hospital. People in the US say they go to the hospital, to their hospital. There doesn't seem to be any logical reason of why we use the word they here. It's rarely added for similar terms. We also use to hospital when we need to go to a hospital with a health problem. We also use to their hospital when we visit a hospitalized person. Examples: he died after being taken to hospital in critical condition. I have to be sober when I go to hospital tomorrow. The man had gone into a coma after drinking a bottle of vodka, and he had been taken to hospital in an ambulance. Certain products, for example immunoglobulins, are delivered directly by the manufacturer to the hospital or other healthcare settings. Take him to hospital or take him to the hospital. He had a nervous breakdown. We went to the hospital in Jackson, dove out of the 3rd floor the 3rd or 4th day and killed